Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pillars of Eternity. Now, I did mention this on my previous video that I released this morning, technically, but in case you didn't know, I am still going to be streaming Wasteland 30 if you are interested in that, so don't worry, but I just wanted to stream a bit of Pillars of Eternity because I've been playing this lately, and this is a really interesting game, because it's sort of like World of Warcraft and the original Fallout and stuff like that. It's been updated for more modern consoles and such, so the graphics are better and the controls are different, because it used to be for PC only, I believe, obviously in the olden days when it first came out. But regardless, I do actually really enjoy this game, because it's one of those things that everything is 2D, everything you see is a 2D image. However, it is drawn in such a way that it looks 3D, like you move behind them and such, but it's just 2D images laid up. And I do find the designs and stuff really fascinating, and the characters and the stories and stuff. So this is a really interesting and fascinating game, and I wanted to share a bit of it with you, because of course some people might be interested in this sort of thing. It's sort of like Wasteland 3 as such. You have a team of people, like 6, and you wander around and stuff, and you do quests, and you upgrade your skills and everything. However, it's not turn-based, it's real-time. However, you can pause it in order to make moves. Like, you can pause and then choose an attack, and then unpause, and then your character will do that attack. So you can pause to have a momentary bit of peace and stuff to do whatever you need, but then you obviously play it in real time as things happen. So of course you can have things where you're fighting and suddenly your health will just drop, and the game will usually automatically pause it if that happens, but you never know. And it's, you know, it's dangerous, because if it's turn-based, you just take a turn and then you can just go back a save if you need to, whereas in this, obviously everything's, you know, real-time, so you've got to think on the spot. But this just makes it even more interesting, and there's an interesting plot and everything, so it's totally exciting, so let's get into it. Now I'm going to play an easy, because the game, it's hard. I mean, I actually play in story time on my normal games, like I'm playing, because it's difficult. Like, I could not play this on like expert mode or trial of iron or path of the damned or anything. Like, I couldn't do it on that difficulty, not until I'd played a lot more and found every single little quest, every weapon, the best setup and everything, because I've not completed this, but I've got 2 or 3 different save files and such that I've been playing through, so I know a little bit about the characters and some of the quests and stuff, but I'm by no means an expert, you know. And in these types of games I usually suck anyway, because I'm not entirely in tune with, you know, the types of attacks and stuff. It's sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, where you can cast spells and stuff like that. But yeah, so we're just going with easy, which will still probably be actually pretty hard when we get later into the game, because you can get stuck in like a group of like 10 enemies, and you can have a lot of problems there. But, you know, as long as you take it slow, and you've got to be careful, because there is stealth in this game. You know, you get sneak attacks and such, which will deal extra damage and, you know, get you off to a good start. However, it obviously depends on how stealthy you are, and there are skills and such, you know, like Fallout and all that, but they're different.
Blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Good thing we fell then, I guess. Was it good if I had an accident? Okay, now we get to character creation. So you got obviously male, female, and stuff like that. And then races. Now this is interesting. So of course you have humans, you know, the boring plane races, who are sort of good all-rounders, but not particularly good in any particular environment. Then you have the Omor, who, the largest, they're, you know, the tallest and probably the beefiest too, so they have a lot of might. They have an affinity for water, which is cool, but that's sort of irrelevant. Then of course there's the Dwarfs. Everyone knows Dwarfs, really short but good with tools and such. So their might is +2, so despite being short they're pretty strong. And then Constitution is +1 as well, because, you know, they can hold on, but their dexterity is -1 because, you know, they're small. And I don't want to say frail because they're not, they're strong, but, you know, there's a lot less of them. Then of course there's the Elves. Everyone knows the Elves. They have dexterity and perception because they're quite intelligent, you know. And there are 2 races, Wood Elf and Pale Elf, yes. And each of these has different effects, so you've got to think of that as well. Like some of these are like mountain, burrow, so these don't, well, a lot of them will have, you know, different things, and that affects how they're looking at. Then there's the Orlans, who are the smallest. They're very interesting actually. Their resolve and perception is good because they're sort of in tune with nature and stuff like that, and they're sharp, but their might's -1 because they're pretty small and weak, you know, but they're good, you know, assassins or, you know, sort of stealthy daggers and stuff. Then there's Godlike, who I actually think are one of my favourites. Now, these are called Godlike for physical aspects associated with gods, which makes them look pretty weird, but it also gives them powers. They're unable to wear protective headgear, as you can read there, because their heads are usually quite strange, so they can't get anything that fits them, and they're unable to reproduce, which seems interesting. So I guess it's just sort of a look of the draw sort of thing, that you have a godlike child. They can't actually have kids themselves, which is interesting. But yeah, and that is who we're going with. Now there are actually 4 different godlikes, which is probably the most that any of the races have. Nature godlikes, of course, you know, green, nature and stuff. Grants a bonus to might, constitution and dexterity when endurance is below 50%. Moon godlike, which I personally think look awesome. Silver Tide, every encounter when reduced below 75, 50% and 25% endurance. Moon godlike generates waves of healing moonlight that restore endurance to them and their allies. So this is good, you know, you have them in the fight and they start taking damage, then they release an aura that heals them and their allies. So you can have like a sort of unlimited almost buff for healing, but I don't think it'll happen more than once for each one during an encounter. There's Death godlike, who, you know, sort of fishy looking, I guess, with their head. When Death godlike attack an enemy with 25% or less endurance, their damage is increased. So obviously when their enemies are closer to death, you know, they do more damage. Death godlike are commonly killed at birth, consider them to be the harbiangers of doom. Ouch, that's not very nice. And then there's the Fire godlike, which, you know, fire. Battle Forge, when reduced below 50% endurance, Fire godlike glow like metal in a forge, getting damage reduction, doing a small amount of fire damage to any creature who hits them in melee. Now, this is really good, because if you make them a melee character, then you just send them into the fray to fight, and then when they take damage, they get damage reduction and deal fire damage to anyone who hits them. So they can just run in, start charging in recklessly, swinging at anyone and everyone, and they'll take less damage and do more damage. So this is who we're going for. I mean, that and they look awesome. I mean, come on, seriously. And now you can select body type for the godlike. So it just changes their stature and such, I suppose. I think we'll go just so they're big. Now class. Now you would think, you know, barbarian, paladin, same thing really, you know, melee stuff. No, different. Completely. Fighter, not a paladin. Completely different thing. You know, rogue, druid, ranger, sound pretty similar? Nope. Wizard, monk, priest, chanter, cipher, completely different things. Like, there are these 11, I believe, yes, classes, and they're all completely different from each other. despite how some of them may seem similar. So each of them has an ability that you start with and a bonus to some of your skills and such. So Carnage, melee attacks, reduce. They automatically make reduced damage attacks at all other enemies within a short distance of the target. So when they attack one enemy, they'll automatically do some damage to the ones around them, regardless of anything else. Paladins, Faithful, all their defenses, Athletics, War, okay. Priest, Holy Radiance, Chanter, Chants and Phrases. Yeah, that's interesting, but I don't actually like them that much. Cypher, directly target enemies, soul focus effects, cost focus, use of their soul whip. Huh. Ranger, Animal Companion, which I actually really love. You get a companion who will do damage with you, and they don't count as a follower. So you can still have your 6 followers and then an Animal Companion. So you can have, like, technically up to 12 if all of the people in your party were Rangers. But I don't think there's actually that many companions. I only know of 1 so far with an animal companion, so you can have a maximum of 8, as far as I'm aware. With 2 animals, of course, so that's technically 6 with the 8, but yeah. They do damage reduction, but not much damage, so the companions don't do much damage, but they can just run in, take hits from the enemy. They'll not take too much damage, and, you know, yeah, they'll just help protect you pretty much, but you'll have a mental connection, so if they go down, you will suffer as well, so you're like bonded with like souls and such, which is interesting. Druids can spirit shift into an animal form, which I think is actually pretty cool, and they have spells as well that they can use, but I think the spirit shift is really cool, but it's okay. I don't think it's too good or too bad, but it's definitely interesting. Rogue, sneak attack, do bonus damage and stuff like that, afflictions, that kind of stuff, you know, stealth, obviously. Wizards, they get arcane assault, mid-range attack, and they use spells and such, of course, because they're wizards. They get lore mechanics. Then fighter, standing ability, constant recovery, continually regenerate endurance at a modest rate during combat. So fighters will just keep getting their health back at a good rate. So as long as they're not fighting too many enemies, they can stay alive indefinitely. That's pretty interesting. Then monk, transcendent suffering, no weapons equipped, do exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. So monks are just really good at melee combat. Monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of them with special abilities. So as they take damage, they're able to use powerful abilities. So you just send them in charging with no weapon, they start doing loads of damage for some reason, and then as they take damage, they become more powerful. That is pretty interesting. Let's see, lore, survival. I honestly am not sure. The Barbarian seems like a pretty good one to have, but I actually think the Druid and the Fighter will be pretty good as well. I think I'll go for the Fighter, because the recovery is pretty important, but then again, her ability relies on her taking damage, so recovering it isn't actually that great. Yeah, I think I'll go for Barbarian actually, because she'll do damage to the people around her with her attacks automatically, and then as she takes damage, she'll start doing fire damage to them as they attack her. So she's automatically got several abilities that are just dishing out extra damage. So that's pretty good. Then Barbaric Yell, Frightened for 12 seconds, or +4 might, +4 Constitution, 33 attack speed. So Frenzy, so she goes a little crazy. Okay, I think I'll go for Frenzy, actually, it's pretty good. Just charge it and start doing all that damage. Might, what are them? Speed, Reflex. Will, they Resolve, but get Might up definitely. Constitution. think that'll do. Now, culture. Now, I'm not entirely sure about this, because with culture it will sometimes give you dialogue options and such, but it's mostly just going to add 1 point to one of your attributes more than anything else. It's an interesting bit of background, I suppose, but it's not that big of a deal. Intellect, Constitution, Might. Yeah, I think the living lands would be good. And then background, okay. Now this is pretty important actually. And the thing about this is it will have not really much of an effect to a degree, in such that there's only a few dialogue options that I think would even be affected by this. Very few, like, oh yeah, I'm a hunter, or you know, I'm a bit of a drifter, or I'm a merchant, I run a shop and stuff. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think I'll go for merchant. Yeah, let's see if it's good. And then appearance. Now, portrait, change it to the right one, thank you. I've got fire hair. Which one? Yeah, that looks pretty creepy. Yeah, there we go. So we can have horns and hair, then like blowback horns or curvature horns. I think that's actually the best. Okay. Then secondary, primary, just changes those really. Go for a bit of a crimson red colour. It's not too bad. Then voice.
I shall lead us. Let's go.
Keeping an eye out.
Yes. Follow me. Show them how it's done.
I'll go on ahead. Yeah?
The voice, I don't even know really. Does this even affect much? Because your character doesn't talk very often. Well, they do, of course, but you don't hear them most of the time. It's just, you know, reading text. So I don't think it matters too much. It'll probably just affect more like what they like sound like in combat when they shout or whatever. So regardless. And I know it sounds like a bit of a stupid name, but we're going with Phoenix, because when we die we will rise from the ashes stronger than before. So why not? Let's go. See what happens. The Gilded Veil. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you were planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods towards a looming black mass on the
Whole
hillside.
area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be.
I'm a god.
There's a stinging beetle around here carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards, unless you don't drink water, of course, which case you'll be dead in a day.
Okay,
There's a
good to
berry
know.
grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker. Let's see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
He looks over his shoulder at his assistant, and lanky and Tezwa got sparkle, because an old sun-bleached bow. He nods, slides the one bow over his shoulder. Where can I find these
Throw on a bush
berries?
that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one. Nothing you
Well,
won't
the
see
ruins.
on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear.
Okay.
Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pond, so I hear.
So who did
Got different
build
names
them?
for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the
Okay.
weather holds up.
What kind
This
of
time
weather?
of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick. Born out of the ether, the spirit's path.
Beerwick.
Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Huge rocks.
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
Alright, well,
Hold
let me get
on.
those berries.
Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot.
Thank you.
But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body.
Thanks.
Got a schedule to keep.
If that's all you really care about, okay. It's Skinned of the Travellers, sturdy, ironclad woman, built a journey's night sleeping on anything grown without a blanket or pillow. Huh. Think she's
Kalisha.
tough.
Kalisha!
Why she doesn't drop
No
dead,
promises.
thank you. Thanks.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Ow.
Don't listen to her, you're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything.
Okay.
Off with you. Aiden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
Okay, if you say so.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Alright then.
I'll get it open.
Anyone
don't
need
want
supplies?
to them.
I've got sundries for sale.
How's it
Got
going,
a
man?
whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
That sucks.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
See what you got, mate. Now I'm going for, obviously, barbarian attack, melee. So we could either go for dual wielding weapons, or just bigger, like, area of effect weapons. Increase reach. Okay, I think I'll take that. And they give you enough money to afford like one weapon, of course. Got this menu here, it's pretty cool. Inventory. And equip that. And take off my great sword. It's got a giant stick. Yay. Now go fast mode. I usually put fast mode on just because you move around quicker. Obviously if you're stealthing you want to go slow, but you know, we're not stealthing. A sparkle.
Let's
Up
check
this
by
way.
those outcroppings.
And we encounter our first combat. So game port is automatically so you can start. You use the right, pull up the menu here, which has your attacks, your weapons and such, your abilities, which are usually just these ones over here mostly. They'll put a few here, and then any spells or other stuff you have. So our frenzy we can probably activate right now, so it'll do that. So as soon as we start, it'll do that. Then over to her, she has knockdown, so if we use that on the wolf, we'll see what happens. So let's unpause, see what happens. Fire. Boom, dead easy. Not even a problem. You can get its hide.
This is it.
Oh, that was easy. Oh, here we go. So you run a shop, you piloted cargo ships, or use to transport things if you wanted to keep secret goods and people. So you're a merchant, so are you a smuggler, a captain of ships and such, or you just run your own shop? Let's go this way. Okay, why are you here? Oh, sister, family. It's difficult being away from them, you know. Shut up, phone. Simple needs. Shut up. Sorry, damn phone. Not much for history. I mean, no one really is, honestly, you know. Let's go and check on Sparful because the lazy sword, but he hasn't done it. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Slow down this way. Get some burned lady. Tap a mushroom, I presume. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, I know. Don't worry. All sorts of ruins and stuff you can explore, and you can just whoops, this one here. Pull the map. Whoops. And it shows you, obviously, it's got hidden there. It'll show you like important people of interest and such, and then obviously it'll show you where you've been. And then it'll have like the fog of war, so you have the ruins there, camp, and such here. Phoenix. So, travelers, or looters, or bandits. Now this is good because we get some armor. Now, as you can see, we have on scale armor, which is medium, 7 damage resistance, recovery speed minus 35. And this is leather armor, so it's recovery speed 30 and damage resistance of 6. So the recovery speed, it's not a huge problem, honestly. If you have bigger damage resistance, then you'll take less damage, that's less to recover. So it just depends on how you look at it, I suppose. However, over to here, she's also wearing the scale armor like I am. She's got 2 weapons on hand. So you can actually equip your, you know, allies with stuff as well. But I wouldn't bother giving her anything too interesting. I mean, she actually comes with some pretty decent stuff. So she's alright for now. Is she actually level 1? I never bothered checking. Yeah, first level. She's a fighter, while I'm a barbarian. She does 13 to 19 and 8 to 13. So she'll do like 20 to 30 damage in each hit, sort of thing, so that's pretty good. And her accuracy is better than mine, actually, so... Yeah, all her skills are better than mine, so she's better than I am, so... She's a decent enough companion to have.
What a surprise. Sparful went hunt. This is recent. Not good.
Get some beer, that's nice. Campfire. Some dry cap. Okay, well. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. Your eyes, you notice a look of shot towards the tree line. Out of the trees, smudges sparkle. One of the guys, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait. His stride wobbles as he moves towards you with laboured breathing.
Are you alright?
Sparkle's toe catches on a rock and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag.
Ambush!
Okay, so I'll take this guy, and you take that guy. Really, I missed. Okay, so when we're friends, we don't even know what our health is. So.
Come on,
that
we
was
have to
alright.
get back to camp.
Alright, let's go. Just suddenly crazy. Let's go. Another enemy. Frenzy, knockdown. And dead. Pretty easy. Okay, let's go. Oh, dead people. That's nice. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travellers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth, as if to ward away some poisonous vapour. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jogging their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe, with thick beard tackled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognise as Huden. The last of your caravan still standing. Well, he's not standing. But arms your arms, trespasser, do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them, they mean to kill us all. Okay. Perception 14. Now this is, obviously, because you'll probably have some of these at 13, 14 stuff. So it's up to you what you pick, but I'd pick one of them because it'll get you some XP. If for some reason you don't have any of these available, it means you've got a terrible character first of all. But put down your weapon, you know, like Grandmother string of animal teeth, blah blah, law, rush the motherfucker can react. If you're gonna kill, you might as well be killing yourself. Only a fool attacks a weak enemy while a stronger one yet lives. I think roughly athletics one. Your surprising speed catches the man off guard. He hurls Huden out of the way and helps to bang his left hand to defend your charge. Yeah, so now everybody attack. Just run, run, run. Charge. Dead. And dead. Pretty easy. The enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companions are silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gaze. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. An audible voice choked this, whisper, blah blah. This man's eyes roll back and closes. Good, good. The gods are dressed. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swirl, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, bending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it's rendering you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the harrowing maelstrom slashed across the chest and bowel, Odema's body stirs and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open, he looks
Get
directly at you.
inside! Run!
Bye. Straining against the gale that threatens to pull you off of your feet with every step, you set your hands in the warm folds of weathered rock instead of pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you spring yourself from the ledge. Leading trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As it nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen antagonists who had been feigning death lunges for you and tumbles him into rocky ground. Restrained, lashes out against his fatigue assailant, but struggles to break his hold. They're close to you, despite the wind from your position. If you were to throw your weapon at your attack, you have a good chance of hitting your mark. Now, dexterity 15 words. It's good to have that, but because throwing your weapon means you'll lose it, so it's actually best to have a bow for this, because you can just fire a shot. But I want to help out, so jars loose. Climbs up the base of the rocks in its top of the wind flares, pulling himself in the territory. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it, securing his other hand. You pull with waning strength, then it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Heaton to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. Resonant swell and wind now, you feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal falls beneath its own weight. And now we've lost our weapon, so we don't have anything to fight with, yay.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Bewick.
And we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
That should be far enough. But what now?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
Who attacked us? Ba. Poor demo. He's a cool dude though. Wood is in here with us, well that'd just be great. God grant them better luck in their next lives, huh? Let's get going. I'm not gonna ask her why she's not upset about it, because I don't want to make it sound like she's being disheartful. And just loot all this stuff, because why not, right? Okay, now you can see, of course, our weapon's gone, because we threw it. Just great. But look, we have this great sword on hand. Huh, get it? So, yeah, equip that. Okay, let's go. Tear you to pieces, lizard. Basically, this is, you know, you can either be like, I'm not gonna hurt you, and then back away, or you fight it to get past it. Because you can't get past it without fighting it. We get a spear. Well, actually, what's the damage? Not 13 to 18. I'll stick with what I've got.
Wait, do you hear that?
Or dead person. more monsters. Some Skulder this time. Blinding Strike and Frenzy. The whole lot. Boom, dead. Easy. Didn't even get time to use my Frenzy. Use the hammer and chisel. Now we can get through here.
Could scout ahead. See what's around the corner.
Why would you do that? You know what's around the corner, really. Just pick up these monsters and that's a kill. Easy enough. Let's see. So this is like a sort of a shortcut that takes you to the end, which means you could get around most of the enemies.
Look at the tiles.
Look suspicious.
What are those
Let's be
symbols?
careful.
Go through
The
here.
roundish symbol.
Just like the
I'm
tiles.
sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
Yeah, we get it. Now we can light this. Now, this is pretty funny. So you need to light this. The brazier at the bottom. You can use a torch if you've got one, but if you're a fire god like me, just use your hair. Because why not? Just imagine what someone's like, just walk up, put your hair in it, like, don't worry, I've got this, goes up in flames, like, wow, hot-headed, that's for sure. And terrible at jokes. Got some ooze plasma. Viscous and oily, anything it touches, well don't touch it then. Let's go. And I can see some of these are no longer lit up. And basically it just means that the ones that are lit up are traps, the ones that aren't are safe. So don't step on the lit up ones, basically. It's not difficult. It reminds me of Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Good film, that. Okay. Kill that spider. Strung in the web. Poor chickens. And now we can get the hell out of here. Okay. Nearly an hour in and we've only just gone through that first bit. Now into more ruins, yay. But at least we're outside. Oh, what's this? 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus. An ancient structure of chiseled artery and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in the midst is what appears to be a human body, cool as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them, a thick grey beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen. He has a strange black headdress with 2 tissues that jut out like the wings of a malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from investigating. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
And then he just walks off. Bye. Widescreen. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet, the air is still, and all at once it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and the pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed. Its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillars an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions, pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now you see a man with a thick grey beard and ceremonial robe crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You're walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried while not trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malice is broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible to the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, and when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Hidden and Callisto lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. Let me get a level up, yay! Okay. Get better mechanics, that's good to get, and a better law. Class unlocks Greater Frenzy, Ignorant Carnage, Barbaric Below, Full Attack, Accessories, Burst Faction, Ability, Area of Effect, Crits, Close Radiance, Sneak Attack. The Barbaric Below actually seems like a good idea. So now, our are dead. So we just loot their corpses for everything they had.
Can't move now.
Easy. Creepy. Get used to purple vision. Turn up your volume if it isn't already, see if you can hear the whispers. Imagine hearing that all day, every day. Would drive a normal man insane. I'm gonna burn at the stake. Nice. Let's go. Down to Valewood. 6 hours. Yeah, no, I feel you, Phoenix. Pretty tiring, eh? We're very fatigued, so perhaps we should rest. Get a campfire. You use the camping supplies and you can camp and it'll basically regenerate you and stuff. It's pretty useful to do. Every now and then. Okay, much better. Oh, another dead person.
Can't move now.
Actually, we just replaced the camping supplies we just used up. Pretty good. Oh, hey villager dude. Why are you see-through? Are you really here, or are you just a figment of my imagination? Creepy. Another dead person. Head up here. Some Zardips. Easy enough. More of them, excellent. Barbaric blow. Near death. Now dead. Excellent. Poor corpse. And look, a cave. Okay, we're not going to go in there because I know what's in there. It's a bear. And we will die if we fight that bear. Trust me. You do not want to fight the bear. Some supplies and stuff and some copper. Oh, a person. Are you a real person?
Good day, stranger.
On your way south, is it? That doesn't make sense, but okay. Sooner you're clear of the woods, the better, I think. Look, and I'm sorry to hear it. Should be fine from here. There's no missing the veil if you keep to the road, and you haven't far to walk. But you'll want to keep clear of this place after that. We were just attacked north of here, me and a friend of mine. We came out here to hunt some deer. Came upon a bear instead, a great monstrous thing, and Pearly, he didn't make it. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Name's Nonton, born and raised in the Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. Lucky than Pearly, I suppose. We didn't see it coming. We were following a stag. Pearly, he saw something in the brambles and went tearing off after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew what was happening. The beasts will take what they will, I suppose. And this time, Galloway's favour fell upon the bear. Where did you find this bear? In a cave, a ways up that way. I wouldn't seek it out, if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. Farewell. Goodbye. Ta-ta. See you later. Over here. The young dwarf turning to the steel looks up, startled as he sees you approach. He drops his ladle, splattering steel across the ground. What? Get her, you dogs, and make sure our new cook don't run off. Help, please. Help me. Ah! Kick as they pass him. That's rude. Come on, let's do this, come on. No, kill him. Or you die, you fool. Okay, use second wind. Nothing I can use now. But we should be okay. Use it on bow at close range. I can actually do like 0.7 damage, like less than 1 damage. Pretty funny. Dead. Loot the corpses. Loot the crates.
Move now.
Oh, shut up.
Can't move now.
By the flame, thank you. I know, I'm on fire. Thank you, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for these weasels for the rest of my life, or until they were bored with me, I suppose. I must get back home. I only hope they haven't hired a replacement. Listen, next time you're in Gilded stuff by the Black Hound Inn, I'll let Basker know just what you've done for me, and I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh, to be back at my oven again. Man, you must really like your oven. Is it a good oven? High tech? Like a wolf. Let's go, wolf. Come on. There we go. Over here. Some other one more. These age walls appear to have once encircled this entire glade. Only a small fragment remains, and the stairs leading to the top should have crumbled away. Thick with moss, hindrance to climb, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough, giving them access one might easily reach the top. Drop back down to the ground. Just gonna keep happening over and over again, so can't climb that just yet either. Okay, well, we've seen everything there is to see, I believe, in this area. Leave no stone unturned, so to speak. We'll be back later, don't worry. Now I got to go to Gilded Vale. Yeah, your biography actually appears with more and more stuff in the story, the journey of your life. Pretty interesting. Nice place you got here. Oh my. That's some excellent design in.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
Huh.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever conceived a Hollowborn child?
I'm godlike, and sadly I can't reproduce, so whether I like it or not, nope.
Are you absolutely certain?
What's the point of asking if you're not going to believe
has
me?
made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst. His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Uh-huh. Without souls. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Being without a soul, you don't have to worry about, emotion and fear and things and such. You just do everything, whatever. I see. Strict, I mean, that's one way of putting it.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all. But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra petal to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that. Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
Don't threaten me, little man. Get some rest at the inn, or a stable for all I care. Wow, thanks. Bye bye.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Huh. Well, that was interesting. Just got here, just went through hell, and we've arrived in hell. That's just great. Anyway, I'll end the stream here, since we've got Gilded Vale. Hell of a place. Love it. Can't wait to settle down and live here for the rest of my life. Defiance Bay over there. Dryford Village, and then the Twin Elms. Look at this map. This may seem small, but trust me, you see how close they are, like just down the road from each other? That's 6 hours. You know, this is obviously shortened down to look smaller, so there's less of it, but it's pretty big. That's like a day at least to get to Defiance Bay from where we are now. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining this stream, and yeah, if you enjoyed, remember to like, subscribe and all that, and let me know in the comments and such. And yeah, I wanted to say that if you guys do enjoy this, then I'll do more of this, of course. And if not, then it's fine, because we're going to continue doing Wasteland 3, so if you're not interested in this game, then we can just go back to that. Now, anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much, and goodbye.